Good afternoon. We call this meeting to order at 3 o'clock. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Good afternoon, residents and management companies. The Master Board is working hard to maintain our amenities and the quality of life here at Sun Lakes. Today, we will address the Cheers Bar proposal and announce a new agreement with CCL. Tomorrow, in this room at 10 a.m., we will have our budget workshop, and we will entertain all residents' comments at the end of the workshop. Our ongoing business at this time is as follows: overnight parked car issues, bringing back the club account, drought-tolerant poor maintenance, and the review of our HOA management proposals. Although our plate is full at this time, we continue to welcome and address all resident concerns. At this time, we'll go to homeowner comments, and we'll start with Ms. Burke.
Joe, it's non-agenda items. Comments are only for non-agenda items.
Correct.
Do I know?
Yeah, that's the rule.
Just as a reminder, public comments, these are for non-agenda items. So if there's something you want to talk about on the agenda, those comments are reserved for that time. So these are for non-agenda items, please.
Only do it like city.
Do you
And that
understand
alarm
that,
is
Joan?
just alarm
Would
of
you
the
rather
popcorn
me
machine.
speak then?
If it's an agenda item, yes, I would.
It is a agenda item.
Then at that time.
Okay.
Mr. Johnson?
Master Board, FSR, CCL, residents here and on 97. Ken Johnson, Birdie Drive. Been a resident next week of 23 years at Sun Lakes. Thought I'd dress a little bit more casual and like up in heaven on a cruise, but here's what I'd like to do today. I'd like to thank all the Master Board for all the time and effort they put in helping Sun Lakes be a great place to live. Today, I'd like to focus on 3 examples of yogiism. When you come to the fork in the road, take it. I'm really concerned about the Sun Lakes RFP for management services. This really isn't an RFP from my perspective, but an RFI. I believe that not enough effort was put into this supposedly RFP, and that you could eventually come to a fork in the road, and you must take it without understanding the consequences. I'd really like to see you stop the process. I think you ought to take your RFI or your RFP responses and build a more appropriate RFP for management services. It lacks a lot of detail on things like reporting and things that I know you want to see from a management company. If you don't know where you're going, you might wind up someplace else. How do you plan to spend the spectrum door fee of $1,663,500? Will the money be used to strengthen our financials and improve operational deficiencies to meet management or meet resident expectations? Will you please let us know the game plan on how you spend this money? I'm hoping it will not be used to pay for CCL's poor budget performance. Finally, it's so crowded, nobody gets there anymore. Nobody goes there anymore. I do appreciate Gary Burkle's comments at the last board meeting when he said he was going to be working with CCL closely to obtain better financial information on a timely basis. It sounds like with the new agreement, maybe we're going to hear some stuff that will say that CCS can get back on budget. If not, how are they going to cover the over budget, and what is their plan to get there? If things really don't improve with CCL's operations and by living within a realistic budget, Sun Lakers just might wind up someplace else. With that, remember, it takes a community to build a community. Thank you.
Ms. Walters? Michelle?
Is this new?
Looks like it.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I don't know what she's talking about.
What are you talking about?
This, the podium. Or lectern, isn't it a lectern? I'm not sure what it is.
It's a lectern when you're at it.
Okay, thank you. Michelle Walter, Community Awareness. I just wanted to let you know that on Tuesday, the 7th of October, we're having our community awareness in here, and it is going to be Tech on Wheels. I know he has been here before, but he's going to be here again, and they're going to do an actual presentation, plus I'm going to have techs here that's going to be able to help you with your computer, with your phone, your tablet, anything like that. So if you want to come to this event, please, on Tuesday the 7th at from 1 to 3. My next one is the Blue Zone Project. I don't know if you know that I'm involved in the Blue Zones Project, and we are going to have a cooking demo, and it's going to be on Tuesday, October 14th, from 11 to 2 in the South Clubhouse. And so join us for a live cooking demo. Discover how easy it is to create a simple, flavorful, and healthy dish using fresh, simple ingredients. So I know that CCL will be there also. Javier and Rachel will be there to take a look at it, and hopefully we'll be able to be a Blue Zone restaurant. So please come to this. There will be a e-blast going out, so you'll be able to see this flyer, but I'll just show it to you right now. So it is under Blue Zones, and it's for community awareness, and it's going to be in the South Clubhouse on Tuesday, October 14th, in case anybody's interested. Thank you. Time is from 11 to 2.
Are we not doing Employee of the Month?
That's during the GM's.
Okay,
That was a separate thing for her to do.
I understand.
Any other comments because other people want to come?
Any other comments at this time? Okay, reports, Executive General Manager.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board, community, welcome to today's meeting. Going to go over updates on projects. You can also find this on the management report that Ed Anon is going to put on the website. And also there'll be a new tab for project updates that Ed Anon is going to put on the website under reports. But for a quick update on some of the things that are happening regarding, let me get quick to that, main clubhouse automatic door. The board did approve that at the 8/27 meeting. That door is going to be very similar sliding door to the, as a sliding, not an accordion like at the South Clubhouse. It's more of a slider, and it will have the faux wood finish on it so that it kind of blend in with the aesthetics of the clubhouse. Now, those items have been ordered, and we're looking about late October to finish that project. If there are any delays, it might bleed into December, but that door is en route. So those people that are going to sell candy, tickets, in January and on, won't have to worry about the heat, excessive heat, or the excessive cold. That door should take care of a lot of the problems. We are still reviewing intrusion detection equipment, cameras for the association. I'll bless you, along with the gate cameras. These will be license plate readers, as I've talked about in the past. This would be an opportunity to move away from those RFID stickers and base access on your license plates. Makes it a lot easier for everyone. Community street name sign replacement is ongoing. They've started to start noticing a lot of community Riviera that those street signs have been changed and they're moving on. It's going to take a little time for them to do the entire community, but it is coming to a street near you. Pavement management plan. The board will receive the RFP responses tomorrow, and management will recommend that there is just an executive session just to go over this item probably next week or shortly after, because we don't want to miss the window to do road work before it starts raining. So we should have a result of the RFPs tomorrow, and then once the board approves that, we can start work. And as you probably hear, that beeping sound is the scissor lift that elevates people so that the people can hang the acoustic sound dampening materials into the ceiling. So throughout our meeting, we're going to have that wonderful sound. But ladies and gentlemen, you will have better acoustics in the lounge and bar after it. So we're looking forward to that. That project should be completed by next week, or by the end of this week. Next page. Review of drought-tolerant plantings. The board received an update, and that work will be done in October. This is for several areas throughout the community's drought-tolerant golf course. Think of areas on number 6, areas 14, 15, 16, 9, 10 that are drought-tolerant. There, we will be moving forward with replacing the plants in those areas. They had already done the clean out of the dead and dead materials. They've addressed the issues with the emitters, and now we'll just put in new plants. Also on area 10, we'll have to focus on some runoff that is coming from the golf course. That's why we keep getting a lot of weeds in that section, so we're addressing that. That will be ongoing in October. Smart property development. This is the software that we will use to track reserve and CIP expenditures, as well as help produce the annual reserve study. The board received a first draft of that, and we will look, once the board approves the plan, to begin training staff on maintaining that software for the community. Men's bathroom and locker room at the end of the main clubhouse. Work is ongoing. The tile has been ordered and the paint has been chosen. Work is on that. We should look probably, I'll have to find out, let's see. By the end of November, that should be completed. And yes, ladies, we will address the ladies' restroom and locker room, so that very similar. The board is also concerned about that to make sure there's equitable treatment, so that will happen as soon as we finish the men's bathroom. Golf tee box complex construction, as well as the back 9 sand traps. The board is reviewing the RFP responses, and this will be back on a future agenda in October. And then finally is the annual budget. As Joe said in his opening comments, tomorrow from 10 to 12, we have scheduled the budget workshop. The board, the FAC, the community management, and what will happen is management will present the budget and go over each of the departments. The department leaders will be there to give that presentation as well. Then there'll be discussion, and I believe the public will also have an opportunity to make comments. And that completes the management report. Now we're going to turn it over to Michelle to talk about Employee of the Month, and the gift card is en route, Michelle. Oh, you have it? Oh, awesome. Awesome.
She's fast.
That's fast.
Okay, Michelle Walter with the Marketing Committee. So as you know, we all do the Marketing Committee does an Employee of the Month. So this Employee of the Month for August is Craig. So I'm going to tell you, Craig, you got to come up here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Craig. Craig began his journey with Sun Lakes in 2004 as part of the Recreation Department. What a milestone. Over the past 21 years, he has become an integral part of our community. Craig is known for his reliability, dedication, and welcoming presence. As our longest-serving facility monitor, Craig has witnessed countless changes and milestones, always showing up with a commitment to excellence and a genuine care for both residents and staff. His calm demeanor and strong work ethic shine through in everything he does, whether it's assisting a resident with a concern, keeping our facilities running smoothly, or mentoring a new team member. There were so many wonderful comments regarding Craig and his dedication, positive attitude, and always going the extra mile. We are incredibly grateful for his years of service and the positive impact he continues to make every single day. The Marketing Committee is proud to congratulate Craig for being the August Employee of the Month for his outstanding job performance. Craig is truly deserving of Employee of the Month.
I can't get him in, he's too big.
It's like going in an SUV and a Mazda.
now for the cameras, executive session, action update.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. This report will give the community an update on actions that were taken by the board at their executive sessions that were held on September 10th, September 17th, September 19th, and September 24th, at which time litigation, member discipline, formation of contracts, and personnel matters were discussed. With member matters, the board approved the house account receivable as of August 31st, as well as the assessment accounts receivable as of August 31st, 2025. The board met with the chairs of the committees. The board reviewed one show cause hearing. The board approved the delinquency report. The board reviewed one request for an annual golf refund. The board reviewed one request for a fee waiver. The board reviewed a request for a payment plan. The board reviewed a delinquent account settlement request from a member, and the board reviewed a few letters from residents. With legal, the board reviewed and approved the executive session minutes from August 13th, August 20th, August 27th, and September 10th. The board received several updates from legal. The board approved to send the following to collections to begin the foreclosure process, and that's APN 419-300-017, APN 440-102-023, and APN 419-292-011. The board also approved to send the following accounts to the collections attorney to foreclose on the lien and record the notice of default, and that is on APN 440-010-046, APN 440-083-009, and APN 440-010-077. With formation of contracts, the board received updates from the management company on several items and discussed the progress on a number of projects. The board received and discussed the draft of 2026 budget. The board met with CCL. The board met with representatives from Securitas. The board met with a representative from Artistic Maintenance. The board met with representatives from Brown & Brown Insurance and received updates. The board received and filed the project activity report as well as the investment activity report. The board approved to use a new vendor, Revival Commercial Pools, to maintain the association pools. The board reviewed the proposals for the on-site real estate office after the town hall. The board met with representatives from the RFP respondents for the on-site real estate office. The board approved the emergency repair of the men's locker room in the main clubhouse with American Eagle, and this will be funded from repair and replacement. The board approved to repair and replace the liner at the Gate 2 entrance fountain, extending the life. The board approved the replacement of the recreation utility cart, and this will be funded from repair and replacement. And finally, the board reviewed and approved the August to September narrative and analytic reports from Securitas, which will be placed on the website. And that concludes the executive session actions.
Community patrol update. Is he
So
here?
unfortunately, Mr. Romero, there was an emergency that took him off-site, and so we will post his report online. He will be back at the October meeting.
Thank you. Sub-associations, any comment from the subs? Okay. Delegate Assembly.
Isn't it? It's pretty. Hello, residents viewing from home, delegates, and board members. My name is Carly Beeks, and I am the delegate for District 14. I would like to express my gratitude to all those who participated in our residential survey. We received approximately 40% of the responses. Well, we were hoping we'd get a higher response rate, but we appreciate the effort of all those who contributed. We received several comments on the surveys and greatly appreciate your feedback. The board will carefully review all of the comments. Additionally, I would like to congratulate the 3 districts that have been awarded prize money for their district. District 5, with Delegate David Miller, has won first place for $100. Second place is District 14, that's my district, and we received $75. And District 23, Delegate Charlie London has won third place of $50. Congratulations to all of you. And I wish to extend my sincere thanks to the Marketing Committee for their generosity in providing the prize money to our districts. Thank you so much.
Thank you. City of Banning.
Excuse me, good afternoon. I'm Sherry Flynn, your Banning mayor, and represent District 3, which you're in here. A couple things. I went to RCTC, where I'm a commissioner, and just let you know that the Clean Air Zero Emission discount for express lanes will be eliminated on September 30th, and that's statewide. The commission also approved another $2 million for TUMP fees funding from WRCOG to go to the Highland Springs I-10 interchange. I attended the Mobility Summit held at the Disneyland Hotel on the 12th, and the key things I learned there was that the state does not have the infrastructure to support the bandwidth needed for converting to all-electric trucks. These trucks are good for short runs only. The trucking industry is down 50 to 70% in truck sales across the state of California. And they did a survey, and they found that small truckers, small trucker businesses that make up most of the trucking business in California, said that they would either retire, close their business, or move out of state if the conversion to electric truck mandates goes forward. That kind of brings me into the lawsuit with Banning Point still continues on. The Sunset Crossroads, which is instead of 10 warehouses, it's now 8 warehouses. They've made quite a few changes on that. That is east of Highland Home Road and west of Sunset. That went in front of the Planning Commission last week. They voted it down 3-2. This is just a recommendation to the City Council. It will come back to the City Council probably in about a month. We also, to let you know that the utility, it was announced last night, I don't know all the ins and outs, but they're having a problem with having double billing on auto pay, so they are suspending auto pay. So if you have auto pay, you're gonna have to pay your next bill, either go downtown and pay it, or mail it, or online. Also, we have the homeless situation on Sun Lakes Village Center there is kind of exploded. If you see anything, call the police. I have called them many times. They are very responsive. We have attempted to speak with the owners of that. There's multiple owners that own that property. It appears that only one is willing to speak to us, and they basically don't care. We're asking them to have 24/7 patrols there, and because that is their property, it's private property, and they need to keep it cleaned out. We're also, June 24th, we did vote to close Opportunity Village and to defund the position there for Homeless Services Director. Opportunity Village is still open. It is full. It's being directed that initially you could stay there 90 days only. That was not enforced. Some people are there 3 and 4 years. That is now going to be enforced, and no new residents will come in, and so Opportunity Village will be shut down. We did not get the third grant for that, which was about $1 million to run it, and so it takes about $600,000 a year in staff to just run that. So we're gonna tie that down. We went out for an RFP for another group like SWAG. SWAG left for various reasons. They were gonna come in and do mental health and drug addiction counseling and get people into programs throughout the county. They backed out, unfortunately, and so now we're looking for another one to do that. Also, last night, there was a proposal by Beaumont to put stop signs, 3-way stop signs at Potrero and Highland Springs, going north and south, because of the issue of speed. People coming out from Potrero to go left, to go north on Highland Springs. There's only been 2 accidents in about 18 months, so it didn't meet that level. It has to have at least 5 accidents to meet the level. I tried very hard to not allow that to be approved and wanted, if you're going to do it, the only thing to do is a light. That way you could have it metered. When someone comes out on Potrero, you can have the lights turn red, and then they can make a left-hand turn and have multiple cars go left, and then for the most of the time, it'll be free-flowing on Highland Springs. But that was voted down 4-1. I voted no to put stop signs there. So that's what they're going to do. So everyone's going to have to stop every time someone, wants to go left. And to me, you're opening a can of worms, and I think you're going to have 6 lanes, 2 left turn lanes, 2 more. Everyone has to stop and decide who's going to go next. It's very unfortunate. I think what's going to happen is we're going to have a lot more accidents, and then they'll say, oh, now we need a light. But to me, that is putting my constituents in danger for injury and even possibly death between now and that time. So that was very unfortunate. Also, Banning Heights is coming up, which is a Loma Linda project, which is on the bench. It's going to be about 2,500 homes, mixed use. There will be a 55 and older community up there, and they'll have a variety of, they'll have clubhouses, trails. That's coming up probably in a couple weeks, back in front of, for a workshop with the city. We also have State of the City, which is November 5th from 11 to 2. It's $110. However, the state now requires that we put it on Zoom and televise it. So you don't have to pay, you can just listen now, because they felt that it was leaving too many people out, too many citizens out of the State of the City. Also, let's see here, the stoplight, and I think that is it. I think that's it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just wanted to let you know, last month, I wasn't here. A lot of people don't know, but a couple months ago, I was going to the ICSC conference in Las Vegas in Ontario Airport, and I fell on a raised part of the sidewalk, and I went right down on my chin. I broke my front tooth. I got a concussion. I now have trigeminal neuropathy along the whole side of my right side. And the last meeting, when I'm talking at a city council meeting all night, I meant to come, but I was in so much pain I could not speak. So I just want to let you know that is why I wasn't here last time.
Thank you. Treasurer's report?
Jason, do you have the report? I'm Gary Burkle. Thank you all for coming, and those watching on.
Oh.
All right, sorry, can you hear me now? No? Yes? This is my report on the August financial statements. In August, for the month of August, we actually had a loss of $106,447. We are still maintaining a surplus year-to-date. So year-to-date, our surplus is $99,374. At the end of August, cash in the operating fund, and remember there's 3 funds. This is the, so to speak, business fund, day-to-day operations. And at the end of August, we had $2,900,634 in the operating fund account. Is there 31 days in August?
Yes.
Okay, typo, I'm sorry. We'll correct that number, but that one's not the important number. At the end of August, so compared to outstanding cash of $2.9 million, we had outstanding bills of $2,251,000. Cash and receivables, when you add cash and other assets that are available to pay bills, when you add that cash and receivables together, they exceed the outstanding bills by $774,000. At the end of August, we owed First Service Residential, and I point this out because they're one of the biggest amounts payable typically at the end of the month. And we owed them $639,659. Next slide. So this is sort of a summary of our what we take in and what we pay with what we get every month. So operating income statement, you can see the top line is on the left is the monthly dues. So that's your monthly dues, $1,086,683. That combined with what goes into the reserve fund. So basically your dues go two places. They go here to cover these expenses, and about 154,000, I believe, a month goes into the reserve fund. So we have the monthly dues that are pretty easy to budget, and as you can see there, we're only $36 off of our budget when it comes to monthly dues. We're actually ahead of budget on other income year to date, and some of that is actually made up of the fact that we're picking up, in terms of income, the $1.6 million that we received from Spectrum. So that is starting to go in as other income. But the other areas, as you can see over on the right, the right-hand column, the budget variance column, shows the difference against budget. And there's really just, as you can see in red, 3 accounts that are under budget, or over budget, actually, expensed to budget. Utilities, and the primary reason utilities are under budget is because the Spectrum contract was signed later than it was intended to be signed, and we will catch up on that when we consider the $1.6 million we're receiving. We're a little bit over on swimming pools, $8,971, but you can see in the other expense categories, we're all well within budget. And then overall, as you go down the bottom, you can see that the 2 areas that we are amenities here, or sort of other amenities, but largest amenities, golf course and food and beverage operations. The one that's, golf is within budget, way within budget, $200,000 under budget, but food and beverage is way over budget. We are $356,485 over budget in food and beverage. We, as a board, and obviously as treasurer, I'm well aware of this, and it's an issue that we are continuing to work with CCL on. There will be some changes in how we pay them over the next month or so, but it continues to be an area that we need to focus on. I talk to other communities, and I don't think there's any community that's happy or ecstatic about how food and beverage occurs inside associations. It's a challenge. So anyway, next slide. This is August food and beverage operations. You can see the budget there. Sales, for example, is $190,000 we budgeted, or actually this was a budget that was created between the board and CCL, so it wasn't a board, driven budget. It was a cooperative effort, or it was created between the 2 parties. So we have 190, well, the actual was 139,990. Obviously, 50,000 under budget. Product cost, that is alcohol cost and food cost, was in budget, or met budget by $4,459. But the gross margin, obviously, and you can see the other categories there. The labor cost was way more than we budgeted. Other direct costs were way more. And so the actual loss for August was $161,000, which, no, anyway, let's go on to the next slide, because as you can see here, this is a slide just showing that, how we compared to previous years. So through August of 2023, we had a surplus of $140,000. Last year, and when we ended the year, we actually ended with a deficit of over $800,000. I don't know if people are aware of that, but that's created sort of a challenge cash flow-wise coming into 2025. But 2024, actual for the year was an $800,000 loss. so far through August, we're still positive by 99,000. So next slide. And see, this is where this all plays out in terms of when we are absorbing these losses from food and beverage. Because this is our current ratio. So this is basically a graphic that compares what our total assets available to pay bills. That's the column on the left, the blue column. The red column is our outstanding bills. And like I said, if you could look over on the right column, the red column, 2,251,000 was our bills at the end of August compared to 3,026,000 total. But as you can see, our current ratio has been declining every month over the last 3 months, and that is because of the performance of food and beverage, basically. So anyway, we have to work to turn that around. Next slide. This is, like I said, the other part of your dues goes into the repair and replacement fund. So 194,150 went in for August. Year to date, 1,553,000. 53,250, which is actually a little better than it has been the last couple of months, came from the reserve replenishment for new homes purchased in, not new homes, but homes purchased in Sun Lakes, investment income, and then expenditures. At the end of August, well, I got the 31 right there. We had 12,701 in the reserve cash account. So, next slide. And this is the capital improvement fund. It's the other fund we have. Like I said in the beginning, we have 3 funds. Not much activity here because we haven't used this fund much. But at the end of August, it had 1,133,000 cash in that fund. And that's my report for August. I do have a listing here, but I haven't updated this from the end of July. But this will all be online if anybody's interested in seeing it. As always, if you have a question, email me. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. CCL, Food and Beverage Operations.
Good afternoon, Master Board, members of Sun Lakes Country Club. We're happy to be here today to share some information with you. And I just wanted to start out by making sure everybody knows Ben Bianchini. He's our Regional Vice President with CCL, and he's joining us today. And I think everybody knows myself and Javier. And so I'm going to turn this over to Ben to kick us off, and then I'm going to go through some additional details.
All righty. Good afternoon, Master Board and members. My name is Ben Bianchini with CCL. I'd like to take a moment to reaffirm that our team's fully committed to delivering the highest quality in services that we provide. Over the last few months, we've gathered valuable data, and we're using those insights to take deliberate steps to right-size our financial performance. We remain fully accountable for these outcomes while continuing to uphold the standards that define our partnership. Next slide, please. So these are some of the items that we're committed to ensuring that really define our partnership. The culinary excellence piece, we're committed to delivering fresh seasonal ingredients prepared with consistency, creativity, and a passion for excellence. The service standards, Javier will allude to this later in the presentation, but we're committed to attentive, personalized service that anticipates member needs and enhances every dining experience. The presentation and ambiance, we're also committed to thoughtful plating, elevated tabletop settings, and a welcoming environment that reflects the standards of the club. Continuous improvement, so ongoing staff training, menu development, and integration of member feedback, including tools like our Happy or Not to ensure that the offerings remain fresh, relevant, and member-driven. The partnership approach is all about aligning our operations with the culture and reputation of the HOA, ensuring that the dining services elevate the overall member lifestyle. So in this presentation, we're going to reaffirm our unwavering commitment to quality while also outlining strategies that we're implementing today to address the financial gaps and strengthen the club's long-term success. So I'll turn it over to Rachel.
Thank you, Ben. As part of our commitment to Sun Lakes Country Club, we have been part of this community for about 6 months now, and with that, we've had the opportunity to gather data and make some decisions based on that data. So I would just like to say thank you to everybody who utilizes our Happy or Not feedback kiosks, whether it's through the QR code or at the kiosk. We really appreciate that. It's very insightful for us, and just wanted to highlight some of the data that has come from this, and all the data that we're reviewing today is from July 7th until September 21st, and I picked July 7th because that was the time where we initiated some initial operational changes, and it takes out the very beginning of the partnership where those numbers could potentially skew the normalization that we've been experiencing. So some of the feedback that we've received from you on strengths is exceptional service by certain staff members. We had 25 mentions of Gina, Brian, and Stavros. We had 12 mentions of great food and value for the money, and 10 mentions of friendly and welcoming atmosphere that was created by an attentive staff. So thank you for recognizing the team members. They work very hard every day, and they are committed to excellent service. And the top areas of improvement from our Happy or Not, 15 mentions of slow and inconsistent service, particularly long wait times. 13 mentions of inconsistent food quality and preparation, and 9 mentions of a need for menu variety and clear communication about availability. So the graph on the right gives us our overall Happy or Not score. So 64% of all the data that we collected reflected a happy score, 13% a mildly happy, 12% mildly unhappy, and 11% completely dissatisfied. So we do review this information on a weekly basis and review the comments regularly and take active steps to correct those areas of opportunity. Next slide, please. Wait, where are you? Is that? Can we be on the lounge slide, please? Is that it? Okay, thank you. It's a different color on that screen. So as I mentioned, this is the data for each dining venue for the period of July 6th through the 21st, and specific to the lounge. And what I want to highlight in these next 3 slides as I review all 3 of these venues is the participation during specific times. So these are sales by hour for this time period. And as you can see in the lounge, between 4 and 7 p.m. is where we do the most of our sales, and with the peak sales being between 5 and 6 p.m. And this will become important information for you as I get to what the next steps are. We also took a look at our sales mix, at our top-selling food items and our bottom-selling food items, and are going to make adjustments to the menu accordingly. Next slide. For the sand wedge, we were committed to a 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Operating hours based on what we thought the members were looking for in their day-to-day food and beverage operation. And as you can see from this, we really don't start seeing any real sales until about 10 a.m. And then after 6 p.m., there's no valuable sales to report on after that either. So as you can see, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. is clearly the peak time for the sand wedge, and we see a spike again around 5 p.m. Clearly, our top selling items are a $5 menu. You can see we've sold 1,658 cup of soup and half sandwiches, 526 hot dogs, 482 eggs your way, 447 of build your own omelet, and 433 golfers. And you can see at the bottom there that the grilled strip steak is clearly not anything anybody wanted on the menu, with only 20 of those being sold. And on to the next slide for the restaurant. So the restaurant being open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we clearly see a spike in sales between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. Over the last couple of months, as we've had prime rib night on Thursday, that's proven to be very, very successful and popular, with 199 of those prime rib meals being sold in that short amount of time, and 190 of the weekly catch. So that tells us that people appreciate that weekly fish special and that they're coming for those, and then the other menu items there. Bottom selling items, dessert sales are very, very low. Spaghetti, the 4-course Italian night just didn't do well during that second month, where we tried to carry that over before we switched to the prime rib night. So we took all of this information, the feedback from Happy or Not, and the data from the sales, and we want to talk about what we're going to do to meet the financial commitment that we need to with the HOA. But before we get to those changes, I just want to review the next slide. Yes, the improvements to your technology experience. So the things we committed to at the beginning when we first met at our town hall was the QR code for feedback, which we've accomplished, the ability for online catering ordering, and a dedicated website. Things that we're still continuing to work on, the point of sale system, we are continuing to develop and improve the functionality of that. And we will be implementing house accounts coming back before the end of the year. We're actively working with First Service, the Master Board, and the POS system to connect all three of those things together and make it a seamless experience where you can use your house account across the club. We know on the reservation system has been a challenge, and we are very close to being able to launch the online reservations. And during the first week of November, we will be implementing our mobile and to-go ordering. You'll be able to use an app that's connected through the point of sale system to place your mobile order, and you'll be able to pick a time for when you want to come pick that up, and it'll be ready for you at that designated time. So we hope that that adds a convenience level to your dining ability, and will give you the opportunity to have some flexibility with where you dine while still supporting the food and beverage department. And I'm going to give our plug for our email blast list. So thank you to all of you who have signed up to receive our weekly emails. That weekly email comes on Mondays, and it outlines all of the specials and the upcoming events in food and beverage for the next week. So if you have your phone handy and you have not joined the mailing list, please scan the QR code and sign up. It's your name and your email, very simple. But this is our way of giving you all the food and beverage information in a clear and concise and prescriptive way. So if you want to go back and find something, you can say, I know that email comes every Monday. I can go find it and reference it and have all your food and beverage information in there. We are continuing to partner with First Services and Hernan to do the email blasts through the club. But this email is going to be the way for you to get all the information all in one place. So please encourage your friends to join the email list. Next slide, please. Okay, so what's next, right? We talked about all the information and how we gathered that information. So let's talk about the menus. We're going to streamline the menus for the Sandwedge and the lounge, and you're going to see some consistencies across both of those menus while still maintaining the two kind of brand profiles that we've identified. There will be new menu items added to the restaurant, and we are going to continue with prime rib night. For catering, we're also going to streamline the catering menu and make it more appealing to committees. We're going to offer 3 levels of service, one being a drop-off option, one as an attended buffet, or a full-service plated meal. So depending on what your need is for your committee, if you want to have a small gathering, casual gathering in the clubhouse, we can do that for you with a drop-off experience and at that price point. We are going to replace the 18% service charge for banquets with a 10% banquet charge, and all the tips are going to be discretionary. We are compensating the banquet servers appropriately for those that work banquets, but the 18% service charge will no longer be applied. However, there will be a 10% banquet charge, and we would ask that if you feel like you experience exceptional service, that you would tip out those servers on your final bill. And then finally, service charges as they relate to the other dining venues, the lounge, the restaurant, and the Sandwedge. We are eliminating the automatic 18% service charge and going to be leaving the tip at your discretion. So we will continue to communicate this out. We have shared all of this information with the dining staff at an all-staff meeting previous to this, and everybody understands and is excited and knows that, you know, they are the drivers of their destiny, right? So we hope that you will, you know, compensate based on your service experience, and we'll also be able to track that data and determine what next steps we take in the future as well. So we are making this all effective on October 1st for the menu change and the service charge change. And that also aligns with CCL's commitment to a budget guarantee for the HOA for the remainder of this year and into next fiscal year as well.
I'd like to just say one thing about the service charge. You know, the problem with the service charge, and obviously we want our food and beverage people to be compensated appropriately, but the service charge, if you look at your receipt, we have to pay sales tax on that. So that and then over and above that, there's actually payroll tax because the service charge is ultimately included in the server's income, but then there's related employer payroll taxes. So it ends up being a very fee-driven additional service charge. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, I don't think they're finished.
You're not finished?
You wanna add
Well,
anything?
just to add to that, again, just a reminder, this is part of a, you know, as I said, educational piece, just to all residents, obviously, as well, just making sure that you understand. We're going to treat this as a traditional restaurant operation, right? Where you have, when you go to a regular restaurant, you actually, there's going to be a suggested tip at the bottom of the check itself, where you're going to be able to see whether you do 18%, 20%, or 22%. Really depends on the actual level of service that you received. Now, with that said, you know, the concern that, you know, some residents or some members of are having is just that there's people that just don't tip whatsoever. So again, this is the educational piece where we need to ensure that everybody understands we got to take care of the staff, right? I mean, it's something as simple as, you know, a good gesture. And I fully understand if there's opportunities within the service. By all means, it's just like I said, traditional service, right? We're not going to tip, you know, bad behavior or something like that. But we're going to make sure that we reward our staff when we do have exceptional service and go beyond that. Okay. Now, this creates a sense of urgency, right, for within the server itself to ensure that we are working for those tips and those gratuities, because, you know, that was one of the concerns that a lot of residents have, that there was like, well, we're getting charged 18% automatically, regardless of whatever level of service we're getting, and obviously this is the reason why we're making this change as well. Okay.
She has a question. You taking
Do
questions?
we have questions or comments?
Well, hold on.
The tips do not go into a pool, no. Yes, yeah.
The only tips that will go into a pool and it will be handled, it will be for banquets. So anything additional that you would leave for that, let's say you have an event and you leave $100, that $100 will be divided between the servers that worked at that particular event. Correct.
And I'd just like to finish by saying we really appreciate the partnership with the Board of Directors and for your patience during these first 6 months of our service here. It's, there's been some great times. There's been a lot of learning experiences. So thank you for continuing to support us and to come and be involved in the food and beverage department. But, you know, we're committed to financial accountability. We understand the importance of what that means to the community, and CCL is committed to that. And we really appreciate and want to thank the board for giving us the opportunity to bring that to the table.
Thank you. Any comments from the community? Please come to the microphone.
Excellent presentation, CCL, I thank you. There's two things that I think could help CCL, and you're working on one is acoustics in the lounge. I think the acoustics in the sand wedge is still a problem when you're sitting there trying to talk. I'd like to see some kind of game plan for that. And before, the board announced that they were working on the HVAC system, so I don't have to bring a coat and sweater sometimes when I'm having dinner inside the restaurant area. So I think the amenities would help CCL with people coming, and I'd like to see you put a project plan to those two items that gets addressed, so that would help bring in more people. Thank you.
Any other comments? The commitment from CCL and the agreement has changed. Effective October 1st, this association will no longer take a loss in food and beverage through their commitment. That's the commitment they've made to us. So I'm really happy to have them on board moving forward with all the new changes. I think it'll be exciting. I think we'll see some better service because people are going to work for that tip a little bit more now, you know. So thank you again. Consent agenda.
Are there any committees, though? It's committees.
No, not October.
Okay, got it. Okay, consent agenda. On the consent agenda for the board to approve is the minutes for the August 27, 2025 open session. There is a resolution to record lien, and I'll read those individual accounts after I complete the consent agenda. There is approval of receive and file the financial statement packet for the month of August 2025. And on the consent agenda are two resignations from the District Delegate Assembly. From District 8, Delegate Kathy Alrighetti resigned effective September 3rd, 2025. And from District 16, Delegate Greg Voitko resigned effective September 4th, 2025. The lien account numbers that are on that consent agenda. Oh, was there one more? Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you. Let me get back there. Here we go. Just 1 second. My PDF cut off. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Tammy's here to help me. Thank you. And then there's a District 10 alternate delegate, Bobby Ashurst, effective September 18th, 2025. Those are the three delegates or alternate delegates that will be resigning. Thank you for that. Now, the account numbers are following accounts have reached the statutory requirement for a lien. With approval of this, the board will record a lien on these properties. Account number 0066-03, 0348-01, 1220-01, 2081-01, excuse me, 2081-01, 2192-01, 2421-03, 2505-02, and finally 2573-01. Those are the items on the board's consent agenda for approval.
May I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to receive and file a consent agenda.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Association business, the rule change?
Yes, we have the item 1 of rule change. There's going to be a lot of rule changes tonight. This is the final reading, excuse me, for the dog park rules at the August 27, 2025 open session. The proposed dog park rules were presented to the community for a first reading, accompanied by a PowerPoint presentation that I did. In accordance with Civil Code, a 28-day open comment period was provided. No comments were received, but dogs did enjoy the park. And management is now requesting the board approve the attached dog park rules. And these are also the same rules, ladies and gentlemen, that are at the dog park and also posted online. Management's requesting the board approve these as official rules.
Motion to approve?
I move to approve the dog park rules.
I'll second.
Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Rule change?
They did come out. Okay.
Are there community comments?
Was there any community comments on this? No. Perfect. Thank you, board. So I apologize for that. The dogs will be happy. Moving on, we have a final reading for the MAC rule. At the July 23rd open session, the proposed rule change regarding front and side yard landscaping was presented to the community for a first reading in accordance with the Civil Code. A 28-day comment period was provided. No comments were received, and management is now requesting board approval of the rule change section 7.20-1, or .1.
Make a motion, we approve the rule change to section 7.201.
I have a question. What is the height? Is it a height?
No
or-
more than 12 inches at maturity for the landscape. This is for when a large area of the front yard is being planted with one variety of softscape plant material. The maximum height generally should be more than 12 inches at maturity. Let's see, when the front yard landscape plant material has a variety of height, the maximum height of any species generally should not be more than 60 inches at maturity. Let's go on further. All softscape plant material shall be maintained at a height that is considered normal for the variety of plant material within the above limits. Generally, all plant material in areas other than the front yard should not exceed 6 feet, except trees.
So the second part of that, the 60 inches, is that in compliance with the city?
Jason did answer yes, because it's further back than the 48 inches.
42 by the city.
42 by the city, right. Okay, can I get a second on the
Also,
motion?
the rule change, Joe, just so you know, that was added, no front or side yard plant material can be installed or maintained in a manner that would interfere with the visual safety of vehicular traffic or pedestrians. To comply with this safety requirement, all plant material located along the lot lines and driveways shall not exceed 4 feet in height within a 4-foot setback from the curb to maintain visual safety for vehicular and pedestrian traffic. Said height measurement shall be from the lowest point of the gutter next to the street to the top of the plant material.
Perfect. Can I get a second, please?
I'll second that.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're on to the on-site real estate office. Ladies and gentlemen, the board has deliberated and talked about this for quite some time. The board has heard you as a community. At this time, I will not call for a vote to change the Cheers bar.
I would,
Comment?
the board would like to obtain more input from membership and to further review this matter. Therefore, I recommend the matter be tabled at this time.
I'll second that if that's a motion.
It was a motion, yes. All in favor of tabling? Aye.
Aye.
Do you want to ask for comments?
Any comments from the community? No comments on a consent agenda? Okay. So we have a request from Lakeside Stop Signs?
I have the general manager for the sub-associations here. I'll let him do the presentation.
Management received a request from Lakeside 2 to replace 8 stop signs throughout the community that are fading. 4 of them you can't even read anymore. Along with that, they are asking that the streets, the markers on the street be repainted along Palmer and Hogan, since those are a main thoroughfare for a lot of the residents within the community making their way to the main clubhouse and the pro shop from the east side of the community as well as the north side. If approved by the board, then these would be replaced from your reserve and replacement fund.
So is this something we can do in the first, in October when we start working on the asphalt? We can
Sure.
do it at that time? And it is recommended that a 15-mile-per-hour speed markings on these streets be repainted.
Yeah, they're kind of faded, Joe. The ones along Hogan and Palmer, especially Palmer.
So can we talk about the speed bump? The infamous speed bump?
On Hogan?
Yeah. It's rattling at best. Is that something that we could
Yes,
improve
so
on?
with the pavement project this year, Hogan is one of the ones being redone. So that will have to be removed and re-put back. So when it gets put back, we can pay it back at a speed hump, not a speed bump.
I think the residents will really appreciate that. I know I will. Any comments?
Are the stop signs something that can be done with the sign vendor doing street signs now?
Yeah, they
Yes.
can be. They can be.
Okay.
Okay, but we're not, it can be.
It can be however you guys would. So if you approve this and you approve it to be done now, we can do it now. If you say we approve it and have it done with the road work, we can do it at the time too.
I haven't driven by myself, but perhaps another board member in the condos might be able to comment on the condition of these stop signs.
Yeah, they're barely legible, actually.
Wait, you're not on somehow. I think,
I have one question. Do we have any recommendation or input from the safety committee on this? I think it might be wise.
Yeah, I think it should go to Safety Committee first.
Well, we're only talking about fading stop signs, just getting stop signs that people can read. They already made that recommendation to a board to put them in. We're just being asked
Okay.
to replace them to where they're legible.
yeah. And Mary
That's
Jo,
how
you
I
want to
understand
comment on the condition?
Well, they're barely legible, the stop signs, and of course.
You're not on. Is that?
Give her your mic.
These stop signs are barely legible. I mean, they're so faded, and it really looks bad, and it's dangerous, especially on that one corner of Palmer and Hogan. And the street striping, if that has to be delayed till the pavement is done, then that's another issue.
So
It
just to
seems
clarify-
prudent to do the signs now with the other street signs.
Yeah, the recommendation would be do the signs now, and then come back with the other road work. So, just for clarification, there hasn't been a motion yet on this. This would be to direct management to do the replacement of existing signs. So, we don't need to do another traffic study or anything because there is already existing signage. We're just replacing it so it is legible to the people on the golf carts and in cars.
You might want to change the wording on the request, because the request says that they want to replace 8 stop signs due to fading with 4 signs barely legible. That doesn't make much sense.
They're all
Not to
fading.
me.
All 8 of them are fading. 4 of them you can't even read, but all
Is
8
that
are
what it's
fading.
saying?
They would like the 8 of them replaced, yeah.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the replacement of the 8, or the stop signs in Lakeside 2.
Second?
I second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we need to also recommend we're going to repaint the 15-mile-per-hour sign? I think that was part of the request.
That will be done with the road work that will happen in October.
Do we need a motion for that?
No,
I don't know, that was
management
part
has
of the
that.
request.
Okay. Great.
RV lot rule change.
Okay, board, management has received a letter from the city, from the chair of the RV Storage Advisory Committee requesting the board approve a proposed rule change to be released for a resident comment period. If approved, the notice of the potential rule change will be posted on the website and made available in paper form at the main clubhouse and administration office. Following the comment period, the proposed rule change would return to the board for final approval at the October 22nd open session meeting. The committee would like the following removed from section 5.09 of the rules and regulations. The section, specifically 5.09, number 14, regarding the wash rack. The item that is requested to be removed is any SLCC resident who is not currently a RVSA leasee and who wishes to use the wash rack and/or dump facilities may do so by contacting the operations department in the SLCC administration office. In essence, to have that wash rack privilege, the dump fee, you must be part of the RV storage group. That's the rule change. We'll then, if approved, it will go out to a reading, and this will come back at the October meeting, board.
So quick question. So what we're saying here is if you're a resident, you can use it moving forward.
No.
Just the
No.
opposite.
It's the opposite.
Just the opposite, right. So,
May I make a suggestion? Since this has been here, Chris, it feels like perhaps what's needed instead is a sentence that says, use of the wash rack and dumping facilities is only available to members of the if it's members or paid members for the RV storage area. Some positive, not just eliminating the sentence, but make a clear statement that it is only available to those who are paying to use the storage. That's the intention, right?
correct, correct. So if you'd like to make a motion with that direction and table that, we can do that.
I'd like to table it. Any other comments on this? These are we're taking away resident.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
it-
sure I necessarily agree with.
I don't either.
It's a little confusing when you look at the last sentence. It says washing, detailing, and waxing may not occur in the RV spot. So you can't wash your vehicle there?
Well, we have wash racks. They're just trying to eliminate residents that don't rent a spot in the RV section to be able to use the wash rack, and I disagree with that. I think we need to table it, and I think we
I
need to
agree.
discuss this. Is there any comment from the, well,
No,
can't
once
do
you
it.
make-
I know,
make a
I
motion.
can't do it. I can't do it.
Call for the vote.
Motion to
So
table
do we
this.
know,
I second that motion.
I'm sorry, do we know what's motivated this change? What is the problem we're trying to solve?
Well, I guess they're trying to not allow other members that don't have an RV in the lot from using the washing facility.
Yeah, but that doesn't denote are people who with RVs finding that the wash rack is consistently used by people who don't store RVs, and they're bumping up against that and frustrated, and so they want to disallow non-RV people from using it. Is that the problem we're trying to solve?
That is the situation that they are trying to avoid. I will say, I don't, in my 12 years here, don't recall anybody ever requesting to go and use the wash rack to wash their car or anything.
I rent a space, and I've never seen it overused once. The few times I've used it for my RV, I've never had a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
It's consent.
I see a solution, but I don't see a
Is
problem.
there another question from the audience?
Can't do it. Yeah. Call for the vote to table this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Tabling meaning we need a little more information.
Yeah, we'll get back with the
Okay.
RV committee and find out
Thank you. What is
a
the
little bit more
problem?
information. I'm just really against taking away from a resident without better cause. Miscellaneous board updates. We covered a lot today with food and beverage and a new agreement we're really excited about. And a little bit of a change on their part. We covered a lot what we're working on right now. I'm just going to go straight to board member comments and closing. You want to start, Sandra? Thank you, Sandra. I got you.
Sorry, so the management RFP process is proceeding, and so there'll be more updates about that in the future. I just want to just comment on CCL's commitment to protect the HOA's financial performance in the remaining 3 months of the year. So thank you for that offer. That had been kind of our intention in the beginning, was to place some amount of risk to avoid this kind of situation. Although food and beverage, it's a difficult and complicated operation, especially when you have this captive audience. So I'm appreciating your partnership with us. I also just want to encourage our residents, just from previous stories and things I have witnessed myself, of getting extraordinary food and extraordinary service and leaving $1 on the table, to try and reorient ourselves around rewarding good service with the tips. And then the last comment is just about the real estate office. This was something the board, we were conflicted. I was very conflicted about it because a lot of the other suggestions to me created a lot of noise or a lot of mess, or if we made a coffee bar and it was successful, we'd have people standing in line and milling about and jamming up the lobby, and people trying to sell tickets or seize candy, and the espresso machine is running at max volume. So I think a professional office is probably a great solution for the space, and of course we're looking to garner additional revenue for the association in an effort to minimize dues, which you'll hear about if you come to the workshop tomorrow. So it's, but I'm not sure we would achieve revenue that was worth the angst that existed in the community, and so we did. We heard you and we heard the angst. I think we all received one email, positive, of wanting the real estate office, who I think is not a real estate agent, but all the rest of it was negative. And we heard you, and so we've tabled this until we can work through a better solution and a better approach. But I just want to say it's hard to balance all of these things and the feedback and attempting to do the right thing for the association. So again, appreciating your feedback and still looking for solutions. But I do know at the town hall, and I don't know if that woman is here or if she's watching, but I remember at least one resident who said she had a whole file folder of ideas for what to do with that space, and could she bring them? And we nodded and said, absolutely yes, and we have received nothing. So again, that just makes it very hard for us. We're really just residents like you. So if folks have really good, viable solutions, we still would like to hear from you. And if that particular woman is listening or hears this, please come forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Mary Jo.
No comment, thank you. I
Gary.
think Sandra said it all for me, thank you.
Gary.
Yeah, I would just reiterate what Sandra said. I do think there was a bit of misunderstanding on both parts with regard to this real estate office. It is true that, the proposal required whoever would ultimately use that to do all of the improvements themselves. The space, even though, there's been different measurements, would not be more than the space that now is the Cheers bar. It wouldn't include any part of the library, the small library room. And also, it would not include or change calling people in. But on the other hand, I think, as Sandra said, we're listening to the community. and we have to balance increases in HOA with any other options we can think about. So, and we certainly appreciate any input from the community in ways that we could help reduce or minimize increases in the HOA.
Yes, just wanted to remind everybody about the budget workshop tomorrow. It's only 2 hours, 10 to 12, so show up if you can. If not, watch it on Channel 97. And then also, don't forget to tip, because we're now eliminating the gratuities, which I think is a good idea. So just like any other restaurant you go to, you give a tip based upon the service you receive. And it'll help us also with not having to pay taxes on that. So when you get your meals or your drinks in the future, don't forget, no tips are automatically included. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. I want to clarify one thing on the no tips. I do believe there is a minimum on a large party that would be included, like every restaurant has in the area. Do we know what that number is?
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. So the rule is basically any groups of larger than 8, so 8 or more at a table, then they will still do the automatic gratuity on those. But again, everybody's individual or parties of, up to 6 or 7, there will be no automatic gratuity on that.
Thanks for clarifying that. Yeah,
You're welcome, sir.
that's normal in the industry. And
Correct.
we understand
Again,
this.
traditional restaurant service, that's exactly what we're doing. It's still 18% on that.
Yeah. Okay, our next board meeting is October 22nd. Is there any more comments from the community that's not on the agenda? Yes, Mrs. Walters, I passed over you. Mike, you have something as well?
Thanks, Michelle. I just have a brief comment. My name is Michael Voles. I'm chairman of the Safety Advisory Committee, and there's a couple of things I want to remind all the residents of. First of all, regarding gate safety. Gate safety continues to be a significant concern here at Sun Lakes. Residents are using the main vehicle exit lane as a pedestrian walkway. This is a safety issue since drivers exiting the community are not anticipating foot traffic in this area. If you are walking through the vehicle exit gate and you know who you are, please, for your own safety, use the pedestrian gate. Also, the same applies to pedestrians who enter the community using the vehicle entry lane. This is obviously very dangerous, since please use the pedestrian gate. Associated with these concerns are increased trespassing attempts by outsiders through unsecured or propped open gates. Be sure to secure any pedestrian gate after you pass through. Another item I want to address is trash cans on the sidewalk. For those of you who have a sidewalk in front of your home, please place your trash cans in the street, not on the sidewalk. Some residents are doing that, and this becomes a safety issue for walkers and joggers. The Safety Advisory Committee will be making recommendations to the Master Board for 2 additional handicap parking spots near the main clubhouse to allow closer access to the sand wedge for those who are handicapped, and also 1 near the new dog park near the North Clubhouse, over by the new dog park. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Michelle?
Thank you. Michelle Walter, the Marketing Committee. I just want to let you know that since we've had our real estate brochure, Jean Dobson and Lila Wolden distributed brochures to 5 real estate companies in Beaumont and Yucaipa. All businesses were very happy to receive the brochures. They thought that they were very impressive in presentation and assured us that they would distribute to their agents. We will continue to distribute the brochures to other real estate offices here and in the desert and in surrounding areas. Our next welcome home is October 16th at 5 o'clock in the ballroom. If you'd like to have a table for clubs or groups, give me a call. The following are the stats on the home sales in Sun Lakes from September 1st through the 24th. Gary, you'll like this. Active or coming soon, 73. 7 condos, prices from $299 to $329. 66 homes, prices from $320 to $549,995. In escrow, there are 20, 3 condos from $315 to $375, 17 homes, prices from $289,800 to $554. Where can you go and buy a home in a community like ours for $289,000? That's amazing. Closed escrows, 6 homes, prices from $275 to $455, 2 condos, prices from $300 to $345. So if you take your 23 times 8, that was 18,000, depending if they were all new home buyers. August closed were 19, so if you take your 2310 by 19, that's $43,890 that went into our replacement fund. Also, I wanted to ask Carly, with a survey, only 40% came back, and I want to thank Carly and the whole group for their participation in this. But I do want to say, and I don't know, Carly, if you have the information with you about what was what, how many did certain things. Do you have that with you? I did, but you don't have it with you? Okay. I'd kind of like for the board to know about this real quick. And also, I wanted to let you know, I went over every single one of those responses. Now, I think the 40% came back. Not all 40% gave a response down below under concerns. But I'm going to tell you the highest concerns were CCL, but we're going to make sure that everything's going to be better, so I know that's going to be better. I also want to let you know that there was only one comment about FSR, only one comment in all the ones that came back, and it wasn't really a negative comment, but there just was one comment. The dog park was another issue, but we don't have all that breakdown, but I just want to let you know that the management company was an issue. CCL was just getting your stuff together and making sure that we are all happy here. So Carly, I think you've got some really good stats for everybody to know.
Okay, I don't know, I shared it with Joe.
Yeah, and I shared them with the board, but, you know, go ahead and read those. I think everybody's interested, and then we can put something together nice and get it out to the community.
Yeah, we need like some PowerPoint slides with this. We talked about being able to present to the community these
Yeah.
results.
So you want to have her wait?
Do you want me to wait?
No, go ahead.
You're up there. I'm up here. All right, so first question was, do you work? Full-time, part-time, retired? We had 110 full-time people, 99 people worked part-time, and 1,046 people were retired. And then, do you own a dog? We had 394 yes, 858 no. Seemed kind of a little strange, but we had a lot of dogs.
Well, please remember that that was only 40% of the community
Right,
responded.
right.
So you really need to times that by probably 2.5 to get
Right,
a
I
fair
was just gonna
reading
say
at
that.
this point, yeah.
Right. Okay, do you play golf? 305 said yes, 886 said no. And then the question was, if you do not play golf, why? The expense, 93 said expensive, 126 said no time, and 678 said not interested. Yeah, that was kind of different. What amenities do you use? 619 use our clubs, 650 use our entertainment, 385 use our sport activities, and 617 use our pool. Which dining venues do you use? 431 use our lounge, 509 use our restaurant, 866 use the sandwich. Yeah, that was the biggest number for the sandwich. And 415 use the veranda, and 153 use none. The next one is, how do you access information? 534 use our website, 365 use Channel 97, 357 use Good Day Sun Lakes, 348 use our e-blast, 1,079 people use Lifestyles, and the biggest one, delegates, you should be proud, 1,086 people use the newsletter. And then 96 people use our lobby touchscreen. And the last question was, do you own a smartphone, computer, or tablet? 1,175 people said yes, and 52 people said no. And those were the findings, and I want to also give a big shout out to David Miller because he helped put this all together. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Carly.
I just thought that would be interesting for everybody to understand and to see what we went through. So Carly put a lot of work into this. Dave put a lot of work into this. And thank you to all the delegates that went out there and really hustled to try and get everything for the master board. Thank you.
Thank you.
David Marshall Keeley, and you heard Mike talking about the Safety Committee, and the Planning and Compliance Department handles safety and also the Master Architectural Committee. They do a great job, and that's both of those areas are really important. I thought I'll give you a snapshot of our meeting yesterday, just so you get an idea. We had 29 items on our agenda. Let me talk about 19 of them. 15 of the 19 were paint. One of them, a patio cover. They're replacing a wood patio cover. You know what they look like over a period of time. They're replacing it with a vinyl. Same thing with a gate. They're replacing a gate that was wood with a vinyl. One request for a change of a screen door, and one request for replacing the windows. We do, as a committee, pay a lot of attention, and this is available for all of you. It's at the front desk, and you can pick colors. This came out about 3 or 4 years ago, I think. Dunn Edwards, they updated Vista, Sherman Williams, Bear, Glidden, and Martha Stewart. So these are available. These are the colors that you can use. Make sure that you pick one of these colors. What I hear people saying is, make the rounds, and if there's a house you like, go and ask them what their colors are, because they'll tell you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay, our next meeting is October 22nd, 2025, and this meeting is now adjourned.
You remember my appeal to the board?
I don't need a motion for that.
Great job they do, but I didn't want.